I won't read the first poem in the book. I have 4. I'll just read 3. I'll let you buy the book to read the one about the man without eyes and the man without legs sitting on the sidewalk getting 50 cents for a beer. And I will read the others, and be sure to listen for the quote, because I'll point when I have the quote coming up. Oh, these are the Sleazy Lounge poems, by the way. Del Mar Lounge, members only, 1969. You could go in if you didn't belong, dance, have dinner with your family, even get a drink if you found a sponsor. At the Del Mar, all the liquor was kept in a locker behind the bar, bottles purchased in advance by customers, each bottle tagged with a name, so members paid a setup fee to drink from their own personal stash. If you were a waitress just around the corner, you could serve the 2 a.m. Del Mar crowd at the Mount Logan Cafe and Polynesian Room. Your husband might be babysitting, drunk in front of the television, the baby in a dirty diaper pulling the curtains down. He may have danced with you at the Del Mar on your night off work because you begged, but he wouldn't sneak you any of his alcohol. On New Year's Eve, he took you to the Cactus Club, you, underage, and danced with every woman in the place. Cactus Club dancer, afternoon shift. Coyote Carol had nipples too big for the pasties, brown aureoles bordering bright silver centers. Cece's G-string had been known to slip, furred V tucked thick with bills, lap dances forbidden when plainclothes cops came in for their weekly bust. They left empty-handed, pants pockets bulging. Carol was buxom, a tall, dark beauty with just the right shimmy. Even the women stuffed money under her glittering belt. Cece's tits were so firm and upright they could hold a cowboy hat while she danced, jiggling out front like a side-saddled filly. And could she ever skin that dance pole all the way up and down? Eyewitness account. When Coyote Carol got done dancing, it looked like the pole had a new coat of varnish. Hard to believe where she is these days. Relief Society president in the 17th Ward, Latter-day Saint with a past. Dawn's Barbershop, 1967. All the junior high boys got their cuts at Dawn's. Every 2 weeks, they'd walk uptown to the West Center entrance of the Del Mar Lounge and Supper Club, turn right, and take a seat in Dawn's open shop to wait with the town's businessmen, where everyone got a non-Beatles cut, short, high over the ears, and squared off at the neck. Dawn's hair was thick with natural curl, parted on one side, white as snow by the time he was 50. His barber chair was a classic black and white, like the police cars, with ornate scroll work in the metal side panels and tilted footrest. Working men walked through the shop to buy beer on tap and bring one back for Dawn, who always had a cold one on the counter next to the antiseptic. He'd laugh with the customers, comb and scissors flashing. Everyone smoked, even the boys, air thick and gray, all the way back to the dining room where families came on weekends to dine on steak and deep-fried jumbo shrimp. The Del Mar, a class act for all the non-Mormons in town, with a few part-timers and jacks thrown in. The boys often said they couldn't wait till they were old enough to buy beer for Dawn, but when they turned 16, they got jobs and cars and girlfriends and quit getting haircuts altogether. Eventually, a group of lawyers bought the building, closed the shop. Dawn took his chair home to the garage. Last we heard, he was cutting ward members' hair in his driveway on Saturdays, minus the beer. Last poem, it's short. Peer pressure. He said, "Let's do it. Everybody else is. So they refinanced the house, spent the advanced principal to buy him out of guilt for squandering money on scotch and slots, late nights and weekends at Hahn's Lounge in Hiram, close enough to walk home. She paid off the red Camaro and planned their daughter's wedding. Her dress a bargain at $800, another $200 to have it preserved, airtight, in a box with a window. She sold it to pay her own bad marriage bills, both of them years past the need to pretend, like their neighbors back then, that their lives were a middle-class fairy tale.